What's good, YouTube? And welcome to another market review. Today we're going to be starting with I'm gonna pretend I didn't see this. We're gonna be starting with a nice little discussion about Yu-Gi-Oh! Being uninvestable. The quarter century rares have ruined everything. And oh my gosh, the rarity collection, when everything is shiny and special, nothing is shiny and special. I've heard a ton of these arguments, and while I myself am not a financial advisor, and I personally wouldn't be advising to shove money into shiny cardboard when interest rates are record high and that sort of thing, a lot of people enjoy putting their money into their hobbies. And I want to go back to a different difficult financial time during the '08 recession and give a hot take that people are willing to spend a lot of money on escapism, and that did happen with Yu-Gi-Oh! Costa Mesa, I believe the 50th SJC, was absolutely absurd, and we did not have a collector market during that time. Now, a lot of collector markets are down bad, not just Yu-Gi-Oh! Like the Godzilla collectibles are actually really sinking in price when they've been doing nothing but going up over the years, and they just seemed like business as usual during the crush card times. But other card game collector markets are also down wonky depending on what's going on. And what I've always told the audience is I would be going for things playable in past formats. And ironically, that is also really up right now, actually finally getting a sale on like the first edition secret and other versions like the quarter century one going up, where I did say it felt cheap at 40. But when it does come to stuff like this, LOB Blue Eyes back then was first edition $60. People didn't care. This collector market did not develop until 2015-16 when we had Blue Eyes format, and then DDS jumped up towards $320. First at LOB was $260, and that was high priced for then. And look at how high we've got in less than a decade. Like, what's the actual multiplier on that? It's insane to think about. Is that like 100x on Blue Eyes Plus? So when it comes down to stuff like this, I don't necessarily think that it's too crazy that it's peeling back, coming back down, bubbles are bursting, because I've talked about it. Usually you have multiple bubbles like blown up within each other with these things going crazy, and so few cards on the market versus so many eyes that I think it's about time some things fell back down. But I have again usually said go for past format stuff. And Edison's what's stonking, but having to be active with the things that you're into isn't new to Yu-Gi-Oh! Reprints are around the corner. Anything could be reprinted. You've got to move things when it comes to the stuff that is making money right now. And the metagame, very, very expensive. Huge prices that we've been covering, and things have been going pretty darn wild for those that are into the game itself. Let's go ahead and also talk about, well, you could have pre-ordered Stardust here, Cyber Dragon. These are a few examples in a failing product where things are going up or have gone up where you could have made money. So uninvestable is a bit of a reach. It's more, there's a lot of educated guessing into going towards things like Stardust at $8. Seemed like it's already up towards where it should be for a high-end promo that would be coveted, and went past where I thought it would be in its early weeks. So still, you can do all the educated guessing you want or mathematics, and you're not always going to call it right, but you can still have good feelings about things and completely miss, or you can end up making money. That's how it goes. There's no guarantees when you're throwing money into shiny cardboard. There's just really good guessing with it. Duelist Nexus, not a lot of people want to open this set, and the quarter century rares being individually 1 per 8.3 cases. A lot of them are starting to go up versus, you know, the ones that are 1 in 16 megatons. These much harder to get for the price point. The Noble Arms Princess is up pretty big. So is just a little bit the Noble Arms Museum. And we've seen huge buyouts on the Testinas here. We also have the Crystal God down here, down to 7 different quantities on its quarter century rare. But it's not just the shiny versions of these going. They had the reveals today. Oh, new support's coming. Big surprise. It could be anything. It could be really good. And there is a lot of potential to these. And it seems like people are putting their money into the bets here that they will be amazing, as the ultra rare here for the Demigod of the Testina has gone pretty darn double, and the secret rare is down to 23 quantities. Let's see where it's actually at price wise, around $8+. My thoughts with this are Konami is getting a lot more bold with TCG exclusive archetypes once again, where they're performing. We saw B-Trooper, we saw Gold Pride, you know, with Synchro Punk actually topping. It's actually getting to the point where they can perform again, and there is a lot of potential here, so I don't blame people for going for it, but they are gambling to a degree here at this juncture, hoping that it's going to be doing a bit of a takeover. Also, the Runic main has been going down in quantities, up in price for both its secret and its quarter century. Be aware of that. A lot of movement in Dune here as we head towards that next set age of Overlord. Heritage of the Chalice also for Noble Knights. It's interesting to point out the Ultra and Secret are now at the same price just about when you actually click on them, and people are saying this is copium or hopium with this deck. I think the deck's pretty good, and I do think you'll see it in Top Cut here or there, but is it, you know, Rogue versus actual tier 2 or tier 1? We'll have to wait and see. I would guess that it would be tier 2 or Rogue and not full on like taking over or anything crazy, but I have underestimated him for Nobles before as well. Flunder is really performing in this current metagame. Be aware that top end high rarity stuff like Impin here is money if you have it. And that's another thing. Again, predicting metagames, high end stuff still spikes and sells for a while, then cools down when the next thing comes. Like, it's still going to happen. People are going to want to play the game and play shiny versions of it. Like, you can get a super Impin right now under dollars playsets for like $1, right? So when it comes down to stuff like this, people love making their deck a little extra shiny to go with their budget engine that plays along with 3 triple tactic thrust and 3 prosperity and all the expensive cards, right? Tier Lament Rukelos also talking about high-end stuff. The Starlight is spiking as Tier Lament best deck cries continue even when they don't clinch the events, and you can see it's actually the last couple days where this is moving around $200, and it's been headed up for some time here as we've covered, but passing that 200 line, and the lowest listed are 200 plus now and quickly go up from there. Gazelle is an engine performing here and there, and the only holographic Gazelle is up further in price. The Unlimbs passing $11. I believe this had fallen back towards like $8 or something, and the first edition lowest listing is towards $16, so both are up versus their previous market prices here for a while. Ohime Mikanko. This got a bit of attention and moment at the YCS, and it is, you know, been fluctuating for some time. Be aware, these are around $16, $17 and quickly going up. Really amazing defenders. An amazing set for what it is. Zombie Vampire, outside of those pull ratios though. Zombie Vampire is getting a bit of attention for Horse, good stuff, and also being semi-generic, level 8, rank 8, and it has been actually double up as a penny stonk here from 40 cents towards about $1/80, and it's continuing to slowly rise. You might want to get yours sooner than later using that TCG player link in the description down below, costing you nothing extra. Support the channel directly for the cards you'd already be buying if you are considering Horse. And let me know, do you think the Horse stuff is a bit overhyped, or will Horus be taking over a good bit? Machina Gear Frame, speaking of past formats, 3 total listings on the Speed Duel version. I knocked on the door over in the Speed Duel Discord, and they're like, it ain't us. It's not because of Speed Duel format, because it is the one with the lowest amount of listings. It seems like it's doing a little something in Edison, and there's also a Roid package being played within an Edison deck that is mostly Machina, and it's doing decent for itself. Kaiku, I noticed, I just wanted to point out, the new common out of Streets of Battle City is extremely low versus every single other version of Kaiku out there versus its market price or listings, so that's a pretty good penny stock. I personally did, like I said, pick up some of the secret rares because I love Speed Duel secret rares, and it's not too far behind Yugi's World, but it's still far behind enough where I'm like, if I'm playing Chaos format, 2 for each deck, I'll grab a couple of these like this. So be aware, there is a super cheap common versus every single other version, and it might be a good place to pick that up, or if you'd like to hollow it out. It hasn't been this cheap for a very long time for a very nice version. Dimensional Alchemist also, while I was rooting around Speed Duels, it's been steadily going up for its copies, and every single version for Edison has been slowly just going back up. You can even see here, it's pretty much towards its max in recent history. Let's actually click the long graph, and it's floating towards its max for the Speed Duel Battle City box, the older box that's been out for a while. Dark Arm Dragon, as I brought it up for a conversation on general, oh, look at the past recession markets, playability skyrocketed. I saw that there's insane sales lately, like this is, just a couple days ago, $380 for a first edition. And remember when this was going back and forth with the ultimate rare for max rarity? Still interesting to see people going for stuff like that, but the quarter century rare of it, I said that 40th felt a bit cheap when they were all the way down there, but the market price actually doesn't reflect, that 45. It shows a low of 53 actually, and it's been doing nothing but slowly going up, and they've been eating it. And you can see here a couple sales in the past day, and it's been performing good compared to most of the quarter century rares. Just because there's going to be a ton of easy access quarter century rares, the singles are still what matters. And I wanted to see if it was a pass format or something unique. People are saying, well, Edison, like they do with everything else, but I did notice that Return from the Different Dimension as well is up for super rare. This is extremely hard to get near mint. They came with foil edgeware out of the pack. Yeah, it's a couple dollars above market price and been creeping up, and the unlims are up a little as well. I wanted to stare at Emergency Teleport in the collector rare. It's down towards like $25 from what it used to be $50, but the ultimate rare first editions are a couple dollars above market price. Nothing too crazy, just like literally 3, meaning that over time those other ones disappeared and new ones didn't get listed because people aren't chomping at the bit just to list others. Let me actually pull that up. Emergency Teleport. I want to pull up all versions just so you can see. There's a lot of nice versions like the Secret Rare out of 5D's collection, and then the Easy Access Rare really brought a lot down thanks to having it in Grand Creators. But every single other version of this is holographic, like the Ghost from the Past version. Remember that had just started to go up and get crazy when we got the rare, but you had the collector rare, mad cheap for what it is, it feels like. And people are again split on collector rares as they are with many rarities on how they feel about it. Some perform extremely well and others just continue to bottom out, and surprised that it's actually that low for some of them. So there's another pass format cool one if you're looking for a high rarity if you feel good about it. Thanks for watching today's Market Watch. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy the conversation. Let me know what you think. A lot of people shakier and shakier on the collector market, and understandably so with how it's fallen out versus the last couple of years, but I feel like that's a lot of collectible markets in general, and the fact that there's so many surges within our metagame market as well as our pass format play market, you're still gambling that Edison will continue to be the new wave and Plant won't take back over, which actually started at the beginning of the Crush Card times as people explored past formats, or Goat makes a resurgent, or something else pops out from somewhere that people end up enjoying. I do think past formats are underexplored, and it'll be interesting to watch how they get revisited and pushed in the future, because Time Wizard is still very much something that Konami can just kind of eeny, meeny, miny, mo and make a huge event around that has a giant Jinzo that I definitely want. If you won that Jinzo or you know who won it, tell them to DM me. I'm offering big dollars for it, by the way. The giant Hollow Jinzo from the Time Wizard format. Speed Duels also have a lot of great giants. I've been getting way too excited about giant cards, but Jinzo's one of my top 3 favorite cards of all time. Anyways, Crazy Market Man here. See you later.